Nice. Okay, we're on air.
We're on there?
Yeah.
What page did you say?
I didn't say it, what page? How are you doing your dance? Feels good?
Yeah, Hashem.
Yeah.
How's America?
Baruch Hashem.
How's the Chevra?
Baruch Hashem.
How's my mom doing?
It was the first time I met her. She looked good.
Hashem.
Are you a Ben Yochid?
Nah, I have two older siblings.
Yeah.
Much older, like 7 years older and 10 years older.
So you're a Ben Yochid.
So Golas does have its worthwhile,
Has its potential.
if not for
Good.
Golas, who would send money?
Yeah, you know what? There's going to come a day that I once heard somebody said that the Yidden from Eretz Yisrael are going to have to send money to the Yidden in Golas. So, page 220, 297. HaTzadik v'Habal Shuvah. So this week's parshat is parshat Vayigash. And the parshat begins, Vayigash Elav Yehuda. Yehuda approaches Yosef. Yosef is known as the Tzaddik, right? And Yehuda is the Baal Tshuva. Well, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, after Yosef was sold, it says, Vayered Yehuda me'echav, the whole story with Tamar, right? And he ended up doing tshuva. But for a while, he had moved away from everybody too.
But away means physically, it wasn't religiously that he was away.
Well, when it says Vayered Yehuda me'echav, how far, what exactly, I'm not going to say it, at least I don't know, you know what I mean? But he crashed at some point. In other words, he and besides which, selling your brother is not quite a mitzvah, is it?
My idea.
Selling you understand what I'm saying? So they all had to do tshuva.
My idea of a Baal Tshuva is one who is coming from an irreligious life and he was coming into a religious life.
And what about somebody who grew up religious and how do you understand that Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev did tshuva every day? Tshuva is a mitzvah for everybody.
And that's the definition of a Baal Tshuva.
His return is so right. The way we understand today is that, like, you know, once I walked into the square Besmedrich with a bunch of a couple of hippie-looking guys, and these Hasidim were coming over to me saying, "See, Baal Tshuva, Baal Tshuva." So I said to them, I said, "How do you know that if he's a Baal Tshuva, that he's supposed to end up looking like you? Maybe you should end up looking like him." You know. Okay, so Rabbi Akadosh Meir B'Tzil Meir. Now this is a long piece. We're not going to finish it today. It's one of Reb Shlomo's longer teachings. It doesn't matter. We don't have to finish it. So he says that the Ishbisur says, "Shepashiyot miketz Vayigash shein bemet parsha achat." That Miketz and Vayigash is really sort of like one parsha because it's like Ela shenechleku l'shtayim, but they're divided into two. Mipnei sheparshat Miketz inyana hu hakdusha shel Yosef. Ve'ilu parshat Vayigash inyana hu hakdusha shel Yehuda. Right? In other words, it's all one story. But in the case, the Torah is telling us about the holiness of Yosef Tzaddik, how he survived in the slavery and the temptations of Madame Potiphar, etc., and so on. And Parshas Vayigash is starting off to tell us about the holiness of Yehuda. בסוף פרשת מקץ נתפס בנימין עם הגביע באמתחתו והובא לפני יוסף. At the end of Parshas Miketz, little Binyamin was arrested because he had Joseph's cup in his bag, which had been planted there, and he was brought before Yosef. כל האחים הכריזו שהם יהיו עבדים במקומו. All the brothers said that they would be slaves instead of Binyamin. But Yosef Amar, Yosef says, Chalila li me'asod sod, God forbid I should do something like that. The person who has my goblet, he's going to be my slave. And the rest of you go back home to your father in peace. Parshat Vayigash niftachat bevayigash elav Yehuda. So what happened then? So it comes to the beginning of our parsha, and Yehuda approaches Yosef. Yehuda mamash nigash el Yosef v'shafach et kol libo. Yehuda approached Yosef and he poured his heart out to Yosef. V'yesh l'dayek, and it's important to read carefully. Lokatu vayigash el Yosef. It doesn't say that he approached Yosef, ela vayigash elav, but rather that he approached elav to him. L'Zohar HaKadosh Omer, and the Holy Zohar says, sheYehuda diber el Yosef. Yehuda was talking to Yosef. Aval be'etzem hu shafach et libo lifnei Hashem. But really, he was pouring out his heart to God. Right? Vayigash elav, when it says he approached him, hu mamash amad lifnei Hashem. That means that he's really standing before God. So in the Netivot Shalom, they go into this Shlomo goes into the Sidlanes and another Hasidic forum also, that the whole thing with Yehuda is that he realizes that this is not stam, that they're encountering this guy who took away their brother. He realizes and in last week's parsha, they all realize it. When Yosef first accuses them of being spies and initially arrests all of them, and then he keeps Shimon as a hostage and so on, sends the rest home, they're saying to each other, this is obviously Hashem's hand in getting back at us, or not so much getting back at us, but in punishing us for what we did to our brother Yosef.
Isn't it rather far-fetched that Yehuda was standing before God? He was standing before Yosef, and the words that he spoke were directed towards him. It's similar.
Hold on, I heard your question. Listen. And this is the point. is that Yehuda realizes that on some level, Yosef is just like a puppet to God. Okay? In other words, let's say Chas v'sholom, somebody comes in and says something nasty to us. Okay? Now, so what business do they have doing that? They don't have any business doing that. Okay? They don't have any business doing that. But on the other hand, I also have to think about what am I supposed to learn from this? What did I do to bring this on? Okay? So Yehuda realizes that obviously Hashem is behind the whole thing. Okay? So when he's pleading to Yosef, in a certain sense, he's really pleading also to Hashem. At the same time, when he says, Be Adoni, right? Please, my master. He's not talking just to Yosef, he's also talking to the Reb Shlomo. Okay? Well, I hope everybody's forgiving my jet lag, yeah? Yes, where I'm coming from right now is the West Coast.
3 in the morning.
So on the West Coast now, it's
3 in the morning.
something like that.
10-hour difference.
Yeah, 10 hours. So just forgive me. I'm doing my best.
If you fall asleep, it gives me physics to fall asleep too.
You don't need chizik for that. You do pretty good yourself. Get me out of that. So he says like this. So now this is further alluded to in the fact that it doesn't say Vayigash al Yosef, it says Vayigash Elav, right? So now he's going to go into talk about what's the difference between referring to somebody by their name versus a love to them. Okay? So he says, מעט מאוד מהאנשים שאנחנו פוגשים נוגעים באמת בעומק הלב שלנו. Very few people that we meet really touch the depths of our hearts. Okay? מעט מאוד מהדברים שקורים לנו בחיים נוגעים באמת בלב שלנו. Very few things that happen in our lives really touch us really touch us in our heart, right? והכי כואב, and what's the most painful thing is that רק מעט מילים מהתורה שלמדנו ממש נוגעות בלב שלנו. Very few words of all the Torah that we've learned really touch us in our heart. אנחנו יודעים כל כך הרבה, we know so much, ואף על פי כן, אפשר לדעת את כל המילים בתורה, it's possible to know every word of the Torah, ועדיין להיות מנותק לגמרי, and still be totally detached. זה שברון הלב הכי גדול, it's the biggest heartbreak that there is. You hear? Yeah? Michal, he said that how many people in your life have touched your heart? Not too many, right? And what's sadder, and that's sad in a certain sense, that we go through life and, like, remember, we've been talking about this, people feeling alone, feeling lonely, and so on. Okay, now, then there's the question, how many words of the Torah really touched your heart. Like, for example, how much did the Ahavta l'Reyacha Kamecha touch your heart? Now, when I say touch your heart, I'm using that in distinction to touch your mind, right? In other words, yeah, we all agree, we all understand that we have to l'Reyacha Kamecha.
That's thought. It's like something that we're conscientious of. It's like, yeah, we know of its existence, but like touching your heart is like, okay, do I really? Not only do I feel it, because feeling is obviously the most important, but like, how do I, do I really like feel strongly about implementing it into my life?
Am I motivated to do something with it? Right. Okay. So he says, like, I'll give an example. How much are you touched by the law of sharpness?
I'm not.
Pretty reasonable, I guess.
Okay.
It's very reasonable.
Right? How much are you touched by when you learn the laws of the korbanos? Also not so much, right?
If I say that.
I'm saying that even the times, right? So what's the point? The point is that it's so precious when something mamish touches your heart, right? Remember I told you the story about there was this chassid in Montreal, and he was a teenager during the Holocaust, so he missed all the years that he could have been learning. And then the family survived. They came to Montreal. His father was a very prominent, well-to-do, respected man in the community. And he decided to travel around and see if he can hook up with any of the surviving rabbis. He came home, but he became a Lubavitcher. And he was like from Hungarian Jewish community. So everybody was shocked, like, number one, why did you become a chassid? And number two, why a Lubavitcher? And he said that he traveled to visit a whole bunch of rabbis. Wherever he came, they welcomed him very warmly. But he says, when the Rebbe said at a Fabrengen, Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, all his doubts when the Rebbe said, Vayemer Hashem al Moshe, when Hashem spoke to Moshe, all his doubts were removed. Okay? That means to say that when the Rebbe was speaking Torah, he was speaking it in such a way that, like mamish, from the heart to the heart, I was once considering putting out a sefer of Reb Shlomo's teachings, and I asked him, what name should it get? And he said, Torah from the heart to the heart. Right? From the heart to the heart. This is, now, so what are you supposed to do if nobody delivered it to you? You have to daven to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Rebbeinu Shalom, what do you say every day at the end of Shemoneh Esrei? What are the words I'm looking for? Right? Right? Go on. And Psach libi b'sor secha. Right? Psach libi, open my heart. Right? You have to daven that the words of the Torah should reach your heart. It's a good practice, by the way, whenever you're opening up a sefer, to say, Rebbeinu Shalom, what do you want to teach me now? Start your learning that way. Start your learning with saying, and now, like even before the next line that they're going to be learning, Rebbeinu Shalom, what are you trying to teach me? What do you want to tell me? Right? So he says, when the third last line of that paragraph, the line that begins with the word Hachi Gadol, third word of the period, says, I can talk about God from now to the day I die. And it's possible that even while I'm talking about God, I'm not even thinking about it, about Him. This is very common. I'm sorry, כתב אותה, כך שכל מילה ומילה אמורה לגעת בלב שלנו לגמרי. But it's clear that the Torah was given to us in such a way that every word should be reaching our hearts. I'm going to stop over here. Forgive me. I'm stopping now. I can't. Okay? Out there, whoever's watching, I just got back yesterday. I'm jet lagged. And I can't concentrate on what we're doing. But like, what did we learn, Michal? All you need is one word to touch your heart. Right? One word that touches your heart. Vayemer Hashem and Moshe, just knowing, the story of the Rebbe Reb Zusha?
Which one?
The Rebbe Reb Zusha, which one, exactly? And his brother, the Rebbe Reb Elimelech, they were both students by the Maggid of Mizvish. At the same time, with the Alter Rebbe, Reb Levi Yitzchak Berditchev. So there was always an argument about whether the Rebbe Reb Zusha knows how to learn or not. It's like a Judy's day, I think. There was always an argument about whether the Rebbe Reb Zusha know how to learn or not. Why?
Because whenever you hear about other
Right. When the Maggid would begin his shir, and he'd quote a pasuk from the Torah, Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, or Vayemer Hashem and Moshe, and the Rebbe of Zusha would go, God spoke to Moshe, God spoke to man, and he'd get so excited and he'd get so like beyond himself that the shir couldn't go on, and like he was sort of like going to ecstasy, and they had to carry him out all the time. So there were those that said there's no way that he knows how to learn anything because it was never there to share. Actually, I'm just explaining that I'm just whacked out with my jet lag right now, so I'm having a hard time concentrating. So we just sort of stopped right now. But in many cases, what did you hear? So Bekitzer, let's summarize this. What we learned. Ivan, you want to summarize? What did we learn? Vayigash Elav Yehuda.
Right. So we talked about why it said
Elav.
why it said Elav and not Eliosef.
Right. And we talked about that Yehuda is Yosef is the tzaddik, Yehuda is the Baal Shuvah. And the question is, so now if we say Vayigash Elav Yehuda, right? So Yehuda is approaching whom?
Yosef.
The Baal Shuvah is approaching the tzaddik. Understand? And what does the Gemara say? B'mokim shebal yitshuva gemurim amdim, ein tzadikim gemurim yechodim lamod. That's the place that's complete bal yitshuva reach. Even complete tzadikim don't get there because their transgressions get turned into mitzvahs, right? the willful transgressions that they did, nasim lahem k'zachuyot, that is considered. And now this is somebody who does tshuva meyahava. If they're just doing tshuva meyira, so then the willful transgressions get downgraded to being b'shaygig.
Meira is also mechachma. Meira is also mechachma. Is that right? Machshava.
Yeah. But correct.
But it stems from the idea of yira.
Right. She doesn't want to be a shish kebab.
I remember learning with in the Ramchal that like there's a level of yira and then ahava and then another level of ahava and then yira.
That's correct.
So
There's yira tato, ahava tato, ahava lo, and yira ilo. So and there is a yira that is higher. That's the highest. That's true. Okay, so Vayigash elav Yehuda. Yehuda approaches Yosef. The Baal Tshuva approaches the tzaddik. The Baal Tshuva makes the tzaddik realize that, you know what? You need me just as much as I need you. The Baal Tshuva needs the tzaddik needs the Baal Tshuva. And you have that also by Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron HaKohen. Right? Aaron HaKohen is the tzaddik or the Baal Tshuva?
The Baal Tshuva, probably.
Why?
I mean, Moshe was the only one that like, up from the time that Hashem approached Moshe about it, he was the only one that like, he had his doubts about approaching Paro, about what Hashem was asking him of, but he did it. He pushed forward with it. And Aaron had many doubts until he saw the nisim that Hashem was performing for Moshe.
No, the part you said about Moshe Rabbeinu is true, but the part you said about Aaron is Aaron was always connected with God, but Aaron was involved in the golden calf.
Right.
Understand? So Aaron is the way.
So he's
That's why he says that when Aaron was about to offer his first sacrifice, he pretty much chickened out. Why? Because he saw an image of the golden calf in fire dancing on the mizbeach. In other words, he saw his avera on the mizbeach. You know, so he was like, how could I go and offer a korban? Like, you know, like I see my avera in front of me, right? And so Moshe Rabbeinu says to him,
that's exactly what it's for, right?
Right. Because because you are so because you have this shame, because you're the Baal Tshuva, that's exactly why you could be the Kohen. Understand? There's somebody who's a tzaddik gomer, like Yosef, people who need somebody to guide them in doing tshuva, they're not going to get the proper help from somebody like that. Okay, so Shkoyach, thank you for coming. I apologize, Mr. Shem. Sunday we go continue strong, okay? So we're going to learn that this is on Sefer, so we're going to learn parshat Vayechi in the Sefer, okay?
You raised an interesting question.
Yeah.